Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday, August 3rd meeting of Plano West Rotary. I am Alex Johnson. I am the president, and I'm going to turn it over to our newly trained and experienced Steve Lawton, who's probably done this over the years, probably 10 times, or 10 years over the years. Past President Steve Lawton, take it away.
Thank you, Alex. Hope everybody's doing well today. Lots of people there at Greek Isles, and
Is anybody else having trouble hearing Steve? I can't.
We don't hear you very well.
can you hear me?
There you go. That's better.
That was good.
So, welcome everybody. It's a nice sunny day in Texas. A little bit below normal temperatures, which is not a bad thing when it's August. I'd like to welcome everybody. It looks like we got a pretty good turnout at Greek Isles also. So I'll start off asking, is there anybody chomping at the bit to do a brag? Okay, well, I can pick. Yeah, I'm going to start with Glenn Thornton.
For sure.
Brag about Glenn.
I'm right here. I think the brag I'm going to do is we get our almost 7-year-old granddaughter later this week for a while, and it's always see the grandkids, and we saw the 11-month-old granddaughter yesterday for a little bit. So it's always fun. We can give them back when we're done. It works out great.
Yeah. I had a couple of grandsons this weekend at the lake, and that was nice to send them on their way with their parents. It was fun while they were there. Let's see here. Courtney.
Yes, I get to do the 4-way test today. So
Yay.
spotlight's on me.
Roxana, I haven't heard you talking about anything lately.
Hi, Steve. Well, I'm very grateful. I just came back from Oregon, the beautiful state. We were there almost 2 weeks. It's just beautiful. I didn't know it was that beautiful. You know, it's so far away, and we don't think about that state. But we had a wonderful time in the mountains. So we're very grateful to all the family, and few other families went there, and we were camping. So we had a lot of fun.
This sounds like an awesome time. Great time
Yeah.
to be in the mountains when it's blazing hot everywhere else.
Oh yeah, the weather is beautiful. There was desert there. There's green, huge pines that I never knew pines could get that big.
Yeah.
And then the coast, it has everything over there. The kids had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Hey, Randall, let's get you to do the brag today. Randall Livingston.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I guess my brag would be that now, as of today, my son's braces are off. So I have 2 kids out of braces. So my wallet's feeling a little bit heavier and not as light. So I guess that's my brag. They're now both in retainers, and I'm happy.
Patrick Poe, you want to brag today?
Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. This is my first meeting, so I just want to introduce myself. I'm actually new to Dallas, Texas, so I guess that would be mine, is to be in a new area, a new state, new city, and just continuing to meet awesome people and to be a part of something that's awesome as well.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing with us. Chris Gilmore, how's the gardening business going?
Well, I'm getting just a few tomatoes and that's it. I let it kind of go to seed this winter summer, because I got tired of getting out in the heat and having to do work. So that's that. But I want to brag on our Rotary Club and the issue of the Rotarian and everybody wearing masks. That set an example to the state and the country and the world. And that's good in how they work things. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Let's go back to the Greek Isles. We got time for one more brag, and that's it. Who wants to brag? Go ahead.
Timer alarm is set for 1 p.m. I am wearing my sweater that I finished today. It's my favorite thing I've knitted this year. Wow.
So you made that sweater.
Yes.
I didn't make my shirt.
And I will teach anybody who wants to know how to knit. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to teach.
Is that Joe Villa in the background?
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
I know. I heard.
She's our,
I'm just
That's you, sir.
behind the sweater.
Yeah,
she's our speaker today.
Yeah.
program. I get to be the program today, Jessica and I.
All right.
Yeah.
Alex?
All right. Hey, Steve. Thank you very much for running brags. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to hand this over to Randall, and he's going to lead us in prayer.
Thank you, Alex. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for yet another opportunity to gather. We pray for you to continue to bless us with your grace and mercy. We also pray for your guidance and direction as we continue to seek ways to improve our community and this world. It is for these blessings that we pray and give you all the glory. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn the mic over to Joanna. She's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Joanna. Welcome, everybody. This is our first meeting of August to the Plano West Rotary Club. And today we're going to do what I always call the most important and the most fun part of our meeting. We're going to vote and then induct a new member. So Patrick Pope, for those, he's virtually, so we actually can't see his picture. I think maybe, there we go. There he is, good, so I can see him. All right, Patrick, what we're going to do is our club is going to vote. And the way that works is those via Zoom are going to vote via the poll feature that Zane is running. And then those in person are going to vote as well. So as soon as we're going to go ahead and start the voting, Zane. And so for everybody who's a member, go ahead and vote quickly. If you're not a member, don't vote. And Glenn has tallied our local ones. So Zane, how are we looking?
We've only had one person vote. Everyone on Zoom, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 at least.
Did you get mine, Zane?
I can't see who's voted. I can just see that there's only been one vote.
It kind of went away. Can you resend it?
Exactly. I didn't get it either because I should have gotten it.
Mine errored.
Let's try one more time.
Nothing against you, Patrick.
Okay, can everyone see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting nervous over here.
It goes away.
Interesting.
Well, you know what? All in favor, put your hands up. Online, put your hands up online. There we go. Roxana, you're not voting? Okay. We need our membership chair voting. All right. By show of hands, and I voted, it's unanimous. So Patrick, you have been voted into the Rotary Club of Plano West. Well, now what I do, Patrick, there's an induction. The vote is necessary, but now we're going to induct you in Rotary. So at this point, I am speaking just to you. Everybody else is in the audience. So Patrick Pope, you have been proposed for membership and the club has elected you. Therefore, it is my pleasure to induct you into the Rotary Club of Plano West. I understand that you're aware of Rotary's requirements and will follow them. You have offered your services to assist your fellow Rotarians in their community and international projects. As you know, Rotary is a service club, each member performing what Rotary terms as service above self. Besides service, you will have the benefits of powerful bonds of friendship with fellow Rotarians locally and worldwide. I especially commend to you the attention to the object of Rotary and the four-way test, which form the criteria for Rotarians in their daily lives. When you travel, you will have the special opportunity to attend Rotary meetings and meet Rotarians throughout the world. This is another rewarding benefit of your membership. And now, by the power vested in me as president of the Rotary Club of Plano West, I am virtually pinning this Rotary emblem on you, and you will receive one soon of your own with your member kit, and declare you to be an active member of this Rotary Club. Welcome to Rotary, Patrick. We all look forward to the enrichment of our lives and your own by your association in the world's oldest, largest, and finest service organization, Rotary International.
Thank you so much, Alex.
We are so excited. You are our 65th member and our first one of August. And I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the club. I know people have been contacting you over the last few weeks, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So just a little bit about myself, and I promise I won't take the entire time. But I am 32 years young. My beautiful wife, my better half, we was married back in September of 2019 in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm actually a native, born and raised in Charlotte. I had a career opportunity in Dallas, Texas, and we moved out shortly after. So we was actually apart for a whole year. She stayed in Charlotte. I moved out to get things situated, and then COVID happened. So we weren't able to see each other for almost a whole year. So that was a tough year for being newlyweds. But hey, God will put challenges in your life to strengthen it and continue to help you grow as an individual. So our relationship actually grew from that experience. She is now here. We're in the process of building a home. We love to travel, and we are in the process of building a family. So hopefully in the next few months, I'll be sharing some pregnancy news. So keep us in your prayers, okay? Thank you, Alex.
Patrick, awesome. We're so glad to have you. I know from our conversations, you're passionate about community service, and so is your wife. Just so you know, we have 5 married couples in our club, so she is not excluded. She is included.
All right.
In what we do. Well, now, what we're going to do is, as we know, every club meeting, we share a little bit about the foundation. So, Zane is going to kick off a video about Rotary Fellowship Program through the foundation. Take it away, Zane.
I'm the CEO of Red Dot Foundation. It's a not-for-profit in India as well as in the US. And our main work is sexual violence prevention.
Right now, I'm based in Bangkok, building up a social enterprise network, supporting smallholders farmers in moving to sustainable agriculture.
One of my passions is working with youth, providing mentorship, and drawing out the leadership and skills that so many of our young people have.
I've been involved with Aikido for over 35 years. I have been working a lot with traumatized clients, especially from abuse, from domestic violence.
I'm the founder and CEO of The Female Voice, a global hub for females to empower the world.
My work is to build bridges between communities, to make sure that communities understand each other, to create receptivity for immigration.
I work now at the Sanitation and Water for All partnership. What we do as a partnership is to really catalyze action around the water, sanitation, and hygiene.
Some of the skills that I took back from the Rotary Peace Fellowship program was, better communication in the non-violent space.
If we can support the economic development in a very sustainable way, I believe that we have a chance for building a peace platform.
First of all, we are a family of Peace Fellows, and we see ourselves as change agents in the community.
The fellowship creates sort of this hotbed of growth and evolution for peace builders, for people advocating for social change.
The training for me, it helped because I did not just come out as somebody who understands development policy, but I also have this insight into peace and conflict resolution.
It's my personal experience that Aikido can bring peace from within, and then you can expand that to other people through your interaction.
And if you have the passion and you have the desire to make change in your community or in the world, you're the right person for this program.
The Rotary Peace Fellowship Program is another initiative through the Rotary Foundation. Now, just so you know, Rotarians cannot apply. So, but if you know somebody that is interested in peace, that's master level education, Rotary funds it, let me know and I'll connect you up with our district chair that runs it. But it's just one of the many things that the Rotary Foundation does on behalf of our community, both locally and globally. Next slide, please.
I'm the CEO.
Perfect. Now I'm going to turn this over to Roxana for our member moment. Take it away, Roxana.
Did you guys hear me what I said? No? Okay. So I don't know if you heard me before, but it's a very special month because very special people it's their birthdays this month. And so Courtney Heath, her birthday was August 1st. Caitlin Jones, August 20th. Joanna Snowden, August 21st. And Tom Posey, August 22nd. Happy birthday to all of you, and we wish you a lot of happiness this month and all year long.
So Joanna, would you be embarrassed if we all sang you happy birthday 3 weeks early?
Sure, if y'all want to, I don't care.
We're
You're
gonna do
embarrass
it.
me.
Make sure you come on your birthday that week, so we'll sing you happy birthday.
Well, I will not be in town.
Oh.
So that's fine. You can do it the
Celebrating
next
your
time.
birthday.
We can still sing.
Let's do it now. Come on, let's do it now. Fred, you're a great singer.
I know Fred wishes me a happy birthday. It's
He
all good.
does.
It's
Have
all
you seen
good.
the darts he sent me with his What are you saying, Alex? Well, we do wish everybody a happy birthday this month. This is the month of August, and it's a wonderful month. Now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what our club has been doing, our club business slide. Excellent. So, as I always, we only have 11 more members that haven't completed waivers. So everybody click on the link, do the electronic waiver that we need. I also want to encourage more people to register for the district award celebration this Thursday. We are going to be winning a number of awards, and we want to have a lot of people there to celebrate. So that link that you see, if you click on that, you can register through the district website. Now, we have a number of people that signed up, and they have a spot at the 2 club tables. Make sure you get a ticket for your spouse. So go ahead, if you're getting a free ticket through the club, go ahead and buy a ticket for your spouse so they could be a part of it as well. It's a dinner. Now, we just started something new. Everybody should receive our monthly service project newsletter that goes out on the 1st of the month. So look for it. It's coming from the email info@planowestrotary.com. It is strictly identifying what projects we have scheduled for the month of August. It's not about PR, not about recruiting. It's just about letting people know our service projects. We have about 600 people in our volunteer database. And a lot of people always ask, how do we know? And we always say, well, go to our website. Well, instead of expecting them to go to the website, which isn't happening, now we're going to push it out to people at the 1st of every month. So feel free to forward it to your friends. If you know people, that want to serve in Plano, let them know. It's always going to have the same look and feel, and it's just going to talk about our service projects. I also want to point out, I think, who was it? Clarence said it. We were recognized in the Rotary magazine, which is a huge deal. It was a 4-page story. It talked about the amazing things that all of you do in our community. Be sure to read it. You can see the online version at that bit.ly/Rotary magazine, and look for your magazine. Every member gets it. And so everybody here but Patrick, because he just became a member today, should have the Rotary magazine in their mailbox, the paper version, but anybody can look at the online version. So you should be very proud of everything that you accomplished. A number of our members were interviewed in that, and a member from another Rotary club, Plano Police Chief Ed Drain, who's in Plano Metro, he was also interviewed. I do want to point out, if you haven't paid your dues, you're late. They were due by the end of July, so your dues are late, your dues are late. So please click that link, Rotary Dues, and pay your dues. So Catherine doesn't have to call you and have that uncomfortable conversation.
Alex, does that include me? I was inducted last week. Okay.
Well, actually, no, because the dues went out July 1st, and per our constitution, you have to pay in 30 days. So everybody that received an invoice on July 1st, you should have paid by July, what is it, 30th, 31st, whatever. And so no, Courtney, if you haven't received an invoice, you're not late. So you're good to go.
Thanks, Alex.
Good question. Now let's talk about our service projects. Those who, I don't know who's online with this format. I can't see everybody who dials in, but we do have a couple of people that haven't seen our club meetings before. I always say one of the reasons I joined this club is because they're always talking about service. And so we continue that. So we always talk about what we've done and what we're going to do. So last week we had 2 service projects. Technically we had 7 service projects, because I consider curbside meals as 6 service projects in a day, because we're at 3 locations twice a day. So Catherine led that project last week successfully. And then Glenn, he led our Adopt a Highway project, where we clean up a stretch of Avenue K that we've been doing, I think, 4 years now? How many people did we have, Glenn?
We had 7 people, and I think when I combined all the bags, we had 7 really full bags of trash we picked up, so it's awesome.
7 people did 7 bags, and I think I heard you had it done in an hour?
A little over an hour, but it was, yeah, especially in August, we try to pick up the pace.
Yeah, we move it to 8 a.m. We try to make it happen fast. So we clean up Avenue K every other month. We're actually looking for a team leader on, the city has cleanup projects on their own that we have partnered with them, either Waterways, Love Where You Live, Great American Cleanup. Glenn is going to train somebody to work with the city on those cleanup projects. And those are actually really easy, because the city runs them. We just show up there with volunteers. They tell the volunteers what to do. So if somebody is interested in doing that, if you love keeping Plano clean, this is an easy project, because the city does all the work and you're just the responsible person in our club. Contact Glenn and he will tell you what to do, where to do, and who to work with in the city. But we definitely are, as Rotary has adopted the environment as the 7th area of focus, we want to have a focus on our environment here locally. And trust me, everybody knows there's lots of trash. No matter how much you clean it up, there's more trash. So that's what we did last week. Now, let's talk about what's coming up over the next 30 days through August. We have a little bit that's going on. Today is the last day of curbside meals. Woo, Catherine! We did the 3 schools. What are they again?
Bowman, Shepton, and Clark.
Bowman, Shepton, and Clark, we did this morning. And then we're going to do Bowman, Shepton, and Clark this afternoon. And we are done with curbside meals. Now, the district tells us there will not be a curbside meals for this upcoming school year, because there's no remote learning. Curbside meals was providing food to Title I free and reduced lunch families whose students were at home, and then we also provided it during the summer. So You could do it this afternoon, move quick. Although I think the spots are all full last time I looked. So great job, Catherine. Now, we have on the 14th, our final COVID block walking, August 14th. This project that we partnered with the city has been very, very, very successful. They said overall, we've increased Hispanic vaccinations by 9%. The city's been looking at areas in Plano with relative to Delta variant that we need to impact. But the challenge is Plano's doing really well. We are over 70% of vaccinations for those that are eligible, which is phenomenal. Obviously, that doesn't include 12 and under. And so there are no more high-risk neighborhoods from the city's perspective that we can do. So great job, Plano West Rotary. We made a big impact. Save lives, reduce hospitalizations. I'm actually working with the Dallas Rotary Club. They're going to see if they can implement the same type of project in Dallas, because Dallas has a lot of need, a lot of neighborhoods. Basically, and if anybody reads the news, the way the vaccinations are going, the rural areas of Texas, as well as underserved neighborhoods, Blacks and Hispanics are the low vaccination areas. And so no matter where you're at, those vaccination levels are low. So every Rotary Club should be doing this project, because we are global leaders in disease prevention and treatment. And we know if we don't get COVID under control, none of us are going to go back to normal. So sign up for that project. I think they have it capped out at 20. When they have 20 volunteers, it makes it really easy to canvass all the homes. It's organized, very well done, and it's quick and dirty. Now, we have a new project. This is going to be our first project where we're actually serving those with disabilities. It's very exciting. There's a technology that's being beta tested in Austin, and they're bringing it to North Texas, where individuals with disabilities, especially the blind or the deaf, or if you have physical disabilities, they can get lost. They don't know, and it also applies for seniors and veterans. Well, this is a free application where they pull it up, and they have a volunteer that's using special software that will guide them. We'll tell them, so where do you need to go? Okay, you could go here, take a left, take a right. It's free. It's a free application for anybody to use. Well, we are going to be the first group in North Texas to put together volunteers for it. There's training, there's things that you need to do to be able, they're going to train you on the software. So on the 22nd, which is a Sunday, I think it's 2 p.m., it's going to be the first orientation. And the beauty of this, you can do it from home, and you pick your hours. They would like for you to be available for 4 hours a week. What that means is you basically have office hours. So when a call comes through, you're available. But it's Cake City. I mean, if you watch TV, use that as an office hour. And you can just pause the show while you're helping somebody that's lost, that really needs your help. So I really hope we get a lot of people to sign up. This is a virtual project. You could do it from anywhere. We could have somebody in Mexico, as long as they speak good English, helping somebody here and be able to use the software. So this is going to be one of the first, remember we talked about we're going to be deploying virtual projects. This is going to be one of our, one of many virtual projects where people could do for at home. And also this is going to be one of many projects that we're doing in support of those with disabilities. We're also working with My Possibilities in a number of different areas for either us helping them helping us, and some of their hipsters actually joining our club. So it's really exciting, some of the things we have in store. If you ever have questions, ask Shannon Maudlin, our community service chair. We also have, we're ending curbside meals today, but we're starting up again, doing the monthly food pantry at Armstrong Middle School. We did this last year, actually probably the last quarter of last year. This year we're doing it for the entire year. There's also 2 other schools that we're going to be supporting. Actually, the school district asked us if we could help them. They don't have their dates yet. So we'll basically be helping 3 schools with their food pantries every month for this school year. And Armstrong is the first on the 24th. And Superwoman Catherine is leading it up. She loves helping people. So she is knocking it out of the park. Now, I also want to talk about quickly, because I'm running out of time, because Fred's ready to kick me off the podium here. We have our PALS training. As everybody remembers, we're fielding a team of Plano overnight warming station volunteers. And basically it's a handle check-in. You're not even there overnight. They have paid staff and police that are there overnight, but there's formal training. So we're gonna have the first of many formal training on August 28th and August 30th. And it's gonna be at the facility, which is the Salvation Army in Plano. So that way, when it does get cold, and we all know it can get cold, those that are homeless, they have nowhere to go. So that's where this Plano this Plano overnight warming station serves their needs. So sign up for that. We've had a few people that have gone through the orientation. This is the training. And so go through, sign up, and Courtney Hitt is our team leader for that project. And last but not least, we have kicked off our annual shoe drive challenge. So this is really par for the course because we have a certain young lady here that loves shoes. I think it would be Jo Vi. She's the queen of shoes. I remember when she was Rotary Club president, I think it wasn't on your last day, we had hundreds of shoes on the stage in honor of her love of shoes. So if Jo actually donates a few of the shoes from her stash, we'll be done. But seriously though, click the link. Joy Hinkleman, she has made the Wellness Center available for our drop-off spots Monday through Fridays, 9 through 4. And so just drop your used shoes off, any type of shoes, kids, adults. Now they have to be wearable because what happens, these shoes get sent to developing nations. Last year they went to Haiti and business owners use them to resell. So we're supporting micro entrepreneurs, which is part of growing local economies, area focus for locally. Well, then we actually get paid 40 cents a pound. It's really small. If we collect 3,000 shoes, we'll make maybe $1,200, $1,300. We're going to be donating that to the Rotary Foundation to help fund our scholarship program and Camp Ryla and our local global grants that we're going to be pursuing. So we're going to be hitting two things at once. This is a global project internationally, and then by funding the Rotary Foundation, we'll be able to use it locally. So donate your shoes, drop them off. All you have to do is just drop them off and take care of business. So with that, did I miss anything? No. I don't think so. So we're done with club business. We have a very amazing dynamic duo who is going to come up and speak. And I want to, before Fred introduces them, I wanted to say a little bit. I actually met Jessica and Jo when I first joined Rotary in 2003. I joined Rotary like November, and Jo was president the following July. And she really surprised me, and I was honored in that she asked me to be on her board, and I was running programs. And that was a big deal. And I don't know if I've ever told her that always meant a lot to me, because that was old time Rotary, and new people. I was young at the time in the 30s. There wasn't a lot of involvement. So that was the beginning of my Rotary leadership, and I give that all to Jo. And then Jessica was our executive secretary. So she answered all my stupid questions because I had no clue what Rotary was. Larry Flannery was my sponsor, and he didn't tell me anything. He just told me, Irish jokes all the time. That was Larry. And so these two are very special. I've known them for a long time, and I'm really glad that our club has such a strong, long relationship with the Balloon Festival. And I'm really honored to turn this over to Mr. Fred Bemenderfer, who is our new Plano Balloon Festival chair.
It's really an honor to get up here because these two folks right here are really dear to my heart, just like Balloon Fest is. And Patrick, congratulations on joining the Rotary. I joined in 1988, and believe me, you get into Rotary and think you're going to change the world, and the world change you. But it's been a great ride since '88, and I wouldn't take it for anything. I joined, I moved to Plano in 1983. Good Lord, let me here. And this is probably the best move I've ever made. Let me tell you a little bit about Jo Vi. I'm going to tell you a little bit. private stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to tell her your age, but we both graduated from college the same year.
You're going to learn exactly how to build. In this video, you're going to learn how to get more.
Okay. Anyway, I moved to Plano, like I said, in '83, and got into Rotary in '88. I remember Joe came and visited Plano West Rotary one time, and the secretary has the honor of introducing the guest. And at that time, it was Joe Villa instead of Joe Vi. You remember that?
I did.
And anyway, but there he was corrected. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Joe, because folks you find in leadership usually have a pretty good resume, and they've been through the fire, the test of fire and stuff like that. But when Joe first graduated from college, well, it was in '86 and '89, she was in marketing for a local bank. And then she founded Joe Vi and Associates, did that for 12 years, joined another co-founder for another group called the Premier Events. I wonder who you co-founded with. Might have been a lovely daughter. But the amazing thing about this is it's always great to be recognized by your peers. Joe is a certified festival professional, and in 2016 was recognized by the Texas Festival and Events Association as recipient of Hall of Honor Lifetime Achievement Award. And you can't ask for anything better than that, to be recognized by your peers. She's been a citizen of Plano 45 years. She and Jessica both are fellow Rotarians, and I think the world of both of them. And anyway, but she took over the helm as executive director for the Plano Balloon Fest in 1991. So she's working over 30 years. And then Jessica, her lovely daughter, was also, she's an SMU graduate, so she raised the bar a little bit there. She's been associated with Plano Balloon Fest also since 2000. So without further ado, I want to welcome both of these young ladies up here, Jessica and Joe Vi.
Thank you, Fred. I appreciate it very much. We need to stand.
Yeah, probably right there.
Are we good? All right. So thank you so much for allowing us to provide some information today about the Balloon Festival. Fred has given you a little bit of feedback about us, but mainly we just want you to know that we are so happy to be planning this event this year with 2020 and no opportunity to do that. It was very hard for she and I, because this has been a focus for us, as Fred mentioned, for 30 years. So we're excited to be doing this. We got the green light from the city about the middle of April. So it's been real quick here to make everything come together. But we are working on that and working on that end product in September. So for some of you that may not know much about the festival, the Plano Balloon Festival, Inc. is a 501c3. We are a local nonprofit. And so part of our goal and mission of the event is to provide opportunities for other local nonprofits to participate at the festival. Many of you have served in that capacity on this Rotary Club because you have been the funnel cake provider for over 30 years. Best funnel cakes in town. So for us, that relationship that we have with these local nonprofit organizations is key. We consider them our partners, about half. So in 2019, we had 50 nonprofits that participated, and they are all local Collin County. And about half of those are service providers or food concessionaires. So that means that whatever they do on site, that revenue that they capture stays in our community. And that's a key component of what this event is about and has been about for the 40 years. This year, we're considering it's 41 years old, since we didn't really do one last year. So it's a very privileged position that Jessica and I have to be able to work on this event, plan this event, interface with all of you all. That it's like old home week when we get to see you when you show up at the festival. But specifically for those nonprofits, those other nonprofits that are also involved. So we do have a reimagined event this year. Isn't everything reimagined this year? So Jessica's going to give you a little bit of feedback about that.
Sure. Thanks, Joe. So I wanted to share with you all the dates for the 2021 festival are September 17th, 18th, and 19th. Here's a rack card we brought with us to distribute to those that are here. It shares with you what our artwork looks like. This year's theme is really into balloons. And a little bit of information about the festival. If you've been there before, working the funnel cake trailer, we, as Joe mentioned, have a reimagined festival, if you will. So our times are going to vary slightly. We're going to close early on Sunday. So Friday, our gates open to the general public at 4 p.m. Friday afternoon. We kick off, we've got skydivers, we've got balloons, we've got concerts, we'll have fireworks on Friday evening, and then we'll wrap up about 10 p.m. Friday night. Saturday morning, we open quite early because those balloons need to come in right at sunrise. So our gates open at 6 a.m. and we continue throughout the day on Saturday until 10 p.m. And then Sunday is where the change is. We'll open early again at 6 and then we're going to close at noon. So there won't be any afternoon activities on Sunday. The other thing we incorporated into the festival, now going on 11 years, is a race series. In the past, they were on both Saturday and Sunday. This year, they're only going to be on Sunday. So we're going to have a 10K, a 5K, and a 1K. In the past, we had a half marathon, but we chose to not have that this year just in light of the pandemic. So 10K, 5K, and 1K. A little bit of additional information. We have run free bus service from the Dart Archerwood station down to an admission gate that's close to First United Methodist Church. We are not going to run that bus service this year. With the reimagined event, we are capping our attendance, and so we do not feel the need to run the bus service. The initial cap is going to be at 20,000 attendees per day. And our goal is to increase that to 40,000 per day. Typically on Saturday evening, we have between 50 and 60,000 people in the park. And we made the decision early on to cap that at some number. In light in the uptick of COVID cases, we've decided when we launch ticket sales in the next week or so that we're going to cap that number at 20, and then with hopes of increasing it to 40,000 per day. It'll just determine, we met with the city of Plano last week. We're continuing conversations with them as we move into later into August and into September to see what really happens with cases locally. We talked about hours. Contactless. So we are rolling out cashless point of sale systems at all of our entry points in our kids fun zone. So in the past, when you purchased parking, you pay with a $10 or $15 bill, depending on where you parked. We're rolling out all only credit card based or Apple Pay. So there won't be a change of money between our volunteer and that attendee. So when you park or you come into the festival gate or you purchase a ride ticket in the kids fun zone, it's going to be all cashless points of sale. For the vendors, we're still allowing you all to operate however you would like. So if you're interested in taking cash, check, credit card, you're able to do that. We're not putting any type of restraints on you all with what type of payment you all accept. We are offering beer and seltzer this year. It'll be the first year for it to be offered at the festival. And so we are excited about that added component to the event. Anything you want to?
No, I think you've covered part of that, but I have a little bit of trivia here that we're going to discuss. We kind of already gave you the answer to the first one with regard to how long the Balloon Festival's been in existence, so it doesn't really count. The number one question we have, and as it's already been pointed out, we've been around for 30 years. 1991 was the year that I started as an adult. She started as a child with the table and chair checkout role. She's very detail oriented, so I never had to worry about it. I mean, she just took care of it. But how long has Plano Metro been making funnel cakes at the festival? Plano West, Plano West. So sorry. I looked at you and I
It
don't know
even
why. I
says
said-
west on the sheet of paper.
It does say West. I need to read it. Plano West been making funnel cakes, not Plano Metro. They're Wednesday. They don't
We
count.
get to talk to them tomorrow.
Yes, we do. So we're not gonna ask them this question. But how long has Plano West been making funnel cakes? Anybody know for sure? I'm almost positive that Dulles Rotary Club was there the year I started. But I can't remember sometimes what happened last week. So how would I be able to remember 30 years ago if the Rotary Club was
I
there?
don't know that we were because I think it was under Wes Moore, and he was a couple of years before me as president. I was 94,
Okay.
95. I'm going to say probably, it may have been 91 or 92. I think so.
Okay, so again, they have perfected that funnel cake recipe. They've been making them a long time, and I cannot emphasize enough that they are delicious. And so those of you that are new to the club, I'm sure you're gonna get your rotation in the funnel cake trailer and at the booth, but we really, really appreciate the longevity of having y'all's club at our event and of what you have done with the money and in our community. To hear Alex talk about all of your service projects and your recognition through RI, that's amazing. That's really, really what Rotary is about, is that service motto. And so we're happy to get to be part of that, to provide that venue for you all to be there and to do it. So my only other question would be, how many of you have been to the festival before? Okay. Now, Fred has us. We just drag him over there and prop him up so that he can supervise the funnel cake. Well, so we really don't usually get 100% participation of people that have been before. So we usually have some free tickets we want to give to somebody that's new. So we could give those to your new member, Patrick. Or did he raise his hand?
Ask them, I don't know who put their hands up on that.
Okay, so did they, because I can't see that and see this. So those of you that are virtual, is there anybody that hasn't been to the festival? Well, let me do it a different way. How many of you have been to the festival before?
Steve, you've been.
Oh, Steve, raise your hand. You're messing with your phone. You've been there, you did these funnel cakes for years. So maybe, would it be all right with the club if we got these 4 tickets to Patrick, your newbie? All right. So I'm sure they intend to recruit you, but you could still use the 4 tickets for friends or family. So, I will
Thank
get
you so
that
much.
information from Alex, and we'll send you that electronically. So
Okay,
does
thank
anybody have any questions? Yes.
Are the volunteers for the balloon festival gonna count towards your 20,000? Are you gonna count us, in other words? Do
Oh,
we need to-
absolutely. Oh, yes.
Well, they're gonna count as our attendance, but not in our cap by day. So we count the volunteers based on the number of volunteer tickets we've distributed, but they're not going to limit that 20,000 number. So that's just gonna be for ticket sales.
Okay.
Good question.
So when it came to planning purposes, when we started this, we really were under a lock at 20,000. As things got better, we were able to increase this. Now it's kind of dipping, or not dipping, going back up. And so this has been our decision, public safety and making sure that we follow the protocols that are laid out by the state with regard to COVID is what is kind of put us in a position, and the board of directors of starting off the ticket sales at 20,000. We're hopeful that we can raise that number as time passes, or that we can offer tickets on site the weekend of. But again, that's going to be determined based on what we see. This whole planning process of this that typically Jessica and I work on for a year, that we put together in a few short months, is ever changing. That's the number one thing I can tell you. It is so fluid. It is ever changing. We've gotten where everything we load into a file on the computer, we have to make sure that we did it, because when we go back looking for the latest, we have to be able to find it. So again, it's the partnerships that we've had with you all, with Plano West Rotary Club over the years that make this event so successful. Out of all of the volunteers that participate, there's over 3,500 volunteers that participate at this event. And so we are, like I said, when I first started speaking, very privileged to be able to do this event for our community. Any other questions?
What Balloon Fest sticks out in your mind is the most different from any other one?
This one. This one for sure. But I mean, you know, I also have to comment about 2018 and the flood. You know, Jessica and I talk about it, and in the 30 years, I can tell you that we say often, we're constantly thinking we've seen everything. But I can assure you that every year there is something that transpires at the festival that we have not seen. And so we had dealt with water, and we had dealt with some, what we thought was flooding with regard to having to suspend activities and all of that. But the year of 2018, when that flash flood came through in the night, fortunately in the night, well, if it had been during the day, we would have suspended and cleared the park. But for that to have happened, and then to hear about it, because neither one of us were there, but she was the first on the scene on Saturday morning. And when I got there shortly after she did, to see the devastation was just mind-boggling.
And once the sun started coming up, you could really, I mean, initially it's
5 o'clock.
It's dark. I mean, you can tell there's water in areas, but it's not until that sun started to go up that you just were.
Oh my.
Yeah. Speechless as to what the site looked like. And just the raging water still going south at that time. Yeah. So.
I mean, you know, because they talk about it all the time on the television about don't drive through high water and what water can do. And you know that, but until you see it, you don't know it. And you see what it picks up and the weight of those objects that it's moved and carried into Richardson. And so it was just devastating in a lot of ways to the agencies, to all those merchandise vendors that were there and were in the path, and my sponsors, and lost what they had out there. It was a very difficult year. And so, you know, I guess she and I think, well, if we can live through that, well, then we can do this. And so you know, it's lots of things in our wheelhouse we never thought we would have in our wheelhouse when we started this project. So thank you. Anything else?
Any other questions?
Yes, I don't really know the history of the festival. How did it begin?
Okay, that's a great question. Well, the Chamber of Commerce was instrumental in starting this event back in the early 80s, in 1980. And so the president of the chamber was Randy Wright, who owned a balloon. And the person that was, they didn't really have the women's division quite as much defined at that time, but a participating member of that group was Marquita Thompson. And there were lots of balloonists that lived in the area, because the area doesn't look anything like it looks today. Lots of open space. And so these balloonists flew on a regular basis just for fun. They're sport pilots, which means they own a balloon like somebody else might own a boat. And so they've taken the training and they bought the balloon and they fly for their enjoyment. And so they decided they wanted to have a festival. The first festival took place on the Polo launch field over by Willow Bend. That's where the first one was. I was there at the first one. And so from there, it just was run by volunteers. The city got involved after a few years to some extent. And it took place kind of all around. One of the places it took place was Randy Broadhead's dad had an airport hangar up at Custer and about USA. And so we had it there for a couple of years. And so ultimately it ended up in the park system. So the first place that it was here in the parks was Bob Woodruff. And then in 1999, I left her because she remembers everything.
It was 99.
Yes, it moved to Oak Point. And so that's been our home ever since, Oak Point
How
Park.
did it partner with all the nonprofits? Because I've participated in Journey of Hope's event.
Yes.
That was there. And so now that you're saying it's all local nonprofits, that really was interesting.
Well, so we just recruited those. We just made the nonprofits, the local nonprofits, aware of the opportunity. So the booth space is reduced cost for them. It basically covers the tent and the tables and chairs and electricity. And so we don't really make anything off of that booth. It's just to give them that opportunity to either raise funds or showcase their agency's programs and services. And that's on our goal. I mean, that's part of what we do. And so we're very excited that over the years that has grown. We've had 50, I don't think we'll have 50 this year. Part of the situation is volunteers, and having enough volunteers come in the booth and staffing and all of that is playing into this year certainly. But we will have a good number, because for one thing, they serve as service providers for us, which means they man our gates, our parking lots, and sell tickets in our kids' fun zone. And they capture a percentage of revenue that we generate on site. And so you all work for your money in your booth, and you keep most of that. We take a little piece, but it's an offset. We make a donation to their organization based on how many volunteers they bring to the festival. So it works well. If it's a big agency that has lots of volunteers, they can participate. If it's a smaller agency with a smaller body of volunteers, they can participate too, because we find something for them to do as well. I should have looked at the number. The Common College Foundation is one of our beneficiaries, and I can tell you that in about the last 10 or 11 years, we've given over $200,000, $220-something thousand to the foundation. So,
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to be here. Again, I commend you on your service projects and the good work you're doing in our community. Thank you. You're welcome.
What I want to do is, are we up there? Well, good. I don't know what's happening here. Let's do this works. Life of technology. In appreciation for, I need to get in front of the camera. I'll get between you two. I get to, we'll get in there. In appreciation for your time and program, Plano West Rotary will donate, come in here, $10 in both your names to the Rotary Polio Plus Fund, Rotary's Polio Plus Fund, together with the 2-to-1 matching funds from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. $10 will turn into $30, which will provide a polio vaccine for about 50 children. Polio, if you two probably know this already, Rotary's using the polio infrastructure to aid in the vaccination for COVID-19. So your donation will support those efforts as well. So what I did, I'm giving you guys one certificate for the two of you, because I know it'll be in your office.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And I really want to thank, these two ladies are very special to me. I've known them, like I said, they were the beginning of my Rotary life. And I owe a lot to Joe giving me a chance of being on the board. And she guided me well. You know, she was a great president who will donate a lot of shoes, hopefully. That was a staple of her presidency, which is great. And so thank you very much, both of you. And we will be seeing you in a few weeks.
Yes.
Yes, we will.
Thank you. Excellent. And I do want to point out for the club, we didn't make a big deal about it. Fred Bemenderfer is our new Plano Balloon Festival Funnel Cakes chair, but he's not doing it alone. We have a club committee that will help him organize it. And then, of course, we need a lot of volunteers. On a normal balloon festival, which this won't be one, we added up 420 man-hours of volunteer work. Now, obviously, it's not going to be that big this year just because of the balloon festival being scaled down. But we will need everybody in the club to volunteer. Your friends, your families, everybody you know will be taking advantage of our 600-person volunteer database. So be really excited for the Balloon Festival and our club being a major part of that. And thank you, Fred. Excellent. Next slide, please. So next week, we have our fellow Rotarian, Jeff Crilly. A lot of people locally will know him. He used to be in the news. He was a, what do you call that? On-air news guy, personality. He had a great book that shows you how to get free marketing. That's what he's going to be talking about, marketing without money. But more importantly, probably for the last 15 years, he has a very, very successful public relations agency, very large. They help a lot of businesses, individuals. So Jeff's a great guy. He is a Rotarian. We've known him for a lot of years, and he's there to help. So he's very entertaining. So he is. Anybody that knows Jeff, he's got a lot of personality. So definitely, he should be coming locally. So he'll be in person. So please be at that meeting. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to our member of her second week, Courtney, who's going to lead us in the four-way test. Take it away, Courtney.
Yes, as members of Rotary, this is the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And 4th, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Rotary! Hey, thank you, Courtney. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic week and be safe. Bye.